Good morning, this is Graham. Thomas here, bringing you the latest insight into what's happening in the world. Now, there's a lot of people are very, very deeply suspicious about their governments, and they should be. Governments are deeply, deeply suspicious people. They're not very honest for a start, and they've been hoodwinking people about all sorts of things for many, many years. But that's up to people, really, to discover for themselves, instead of being suspicious and all angry and all the governments are. Go and do a bit of thought about it, think about it, do a bit of research, find out why the government thinks like that. It's all about psychology, what sort of psychology it wants to put into society, how it wants to affect the social outcomes, because they can program society either negatively or positively, depending on what they want the results to be in the future. Although they don't tell anyone and they let nature be, there is a sort of a subliminal program going on because of the way they do the education, which is illogical, irrational and unscientific. The thing is, why would a government not tell people about everything, all the secret science and all the advances in technology they really have? Well, why would they? Why would a government give away its advantages, or in fact tell people things that, well, might scare the daylights out of them, or give advantages to people like North Korea? Oh, we're going to tell you all about how we make flying saucers or whatever, Johnny magnetic fields and whatever, and use of any transference of energy, that's all it is. Well, yeah, we're going to tell you all, so then the North Koreans can get that technology. There are reasons, and it protects the people by not showing everyone what you have as a weapon. That's the idea of having superior weapons, is what keeps the people secure from outsiders, and that's basically how people have, from the Roman times onwards, so we are a weapon culture. But when people are concerned about there are all these big massive tunnels and all these places in America, and I've seen videos where people just drive straight in, no one's arresting them for driving straight in somewhere in America. They're driving these massive cavernous places in these massive tunnels, and there may be a reason for that, and it's not nasty and not about aliens and and all of that so much. It's about in the future there may be a comet smash into the earth, because that is the pattern of extinction, has been comets smashing into the earth. I don't know when a comet's going to smash into the earth, and not many people do, but maybe some people do know when comets are and when they may smash into the earth, because missing the earth by 300,000 miles or kilometers, whatever it was, is only missing the earth by 5 hours, which is not, if you think about it, you miss a plane by 5 hours, it's not that much. But that's why, because if they know in the future, if we know they'll be able to see if it's far enough away that we can get out of the way, they'll say, okay, as many as you can will go into these caverns, and you'll sort of hang in there until we learn and we'll try and survive under there, while we work out the cause and the result of the impact of a comet. So that's why, and because if you said to people, hey, a comet's coming, a comet's coming, oh, everyone would panic. The thing is, you'll think, because life can end at any time. We know extinction is a part of the cycle of life. It's happened several times in the world's history, for one reason or another. You would think that you say, okay, let's design life so it's a little bit more leisurely than it is. We don't have to, all the debts we have and all the fear about debts and the fear about this and the fear about that. Let's create fear. How about we create a little bit of happiness and take the stress off people and make sure they keep warm in winter, don't worry about profit so much. But what is wealth? Wealth is enjoying your life now. It doesn't mean you're ripping people off and stealing from people and making people unhappy, because lots of people making enormous amounts of profit in the world today are causing a massive amount of unhappiness in the world. That doesn't make sense. They don't give a damn. They think the world's going to end, so they don't give a shit how much happiness or unhappiness they cause to the world. And they say, oh, it's all up to you. No, if governments right at the moment playing alchemy are pushing the price of electricity up for no reason, there's no reason, climate change is a totally separate matter to the cost of electricity. Two totally separate matters. Nothing to do with it. Think about it for a minute. You can easily lower the cost of electricity at the same time as reducing CO2. It's only a matter of maths and accounting and not being too greedy. If you really care about people and the climate, you would lower the cost of electricity to take the stresses off people so they can keep cooler in summer and warmer in winter and be able to feed more money into the economy and create more employment. But instead, the people who are in charge are creating a massive amount of rises in costs of electricity, which affects everybody else, every business, every supplier, everyone, every employer is affected, and every employee is affected. So it reduces the amount of currency going into the economy, and therefore the government has to borrow more and more and more to feed into these electricity companies. Now I'm all for people making profit, that's for certain. Now people have to make a profit. That's how we need to expand the currency, the available, so you can keep feeding into an economy and keep people employed. That's a simple bit of economics for you. But the point is, there are some things that ought to be rethought, especially the cost of electricity, because if you reduce that, which you can, it's easy to reduce it and reduce CO2, those who say otherwise are not being honest, simply being dishonest. And they just show we care about people by doing something about climate, but in fact what about the people now they're causing to suffer, and especially when it gets cold in winter, causing all people to suffer, at the same time saying you've got to work longer till you're 70. So these people who say, oh, we're on the left, the socialists, say, oh, we care about people, they don't care about, they're nihilists. This is a sad part. They're nihilists. You know, wherever Mr. Trump is he a nihilist compared with Hillary Clinton, who was conning kids that she's going to save the planet by putting up the price of electricity, so more and more women and children suffer in winter when they freeze to death, or can't afford groceries because of power bills, or can't afford the kids to have the same sort of clothes as other kids because of power bills. And that's what left and Greens and ALP are all doing, and the Liberals in this country, Australia. But there you go. Why the US government in particular, and it might be others, are putting these big tunnels and big places underground is because it's a beautiful thing. The US government's brilliant. It's not all evil. They might be hard-faced and hard-nosed. They're not all ultimately evil. They're trying to save as many humans as possible. Like the Noah's Ark underground. And if there's a comet impact, we don't know when. But if it impacts, or a big pole shift happens, you've got to have somewhere you can put some sort of people, so in the end you've got to, maybe enough to survive there long enough, whatever it is. It's like a nightmare situation, but never mind, we've got to try and survive an extinction event like a comet hitting. But in the meantime, why not make people's lives easier? That's the thing, that's the conundrum. Why make people's life hard now? What, to cause them stress for what? Because you've got no other answer? Those politicians making your life hard and pretending they're going to save the climate, don't vote for them. Because you can't stop the climate change by putting electricity prices up. That actually is a totally different matter. You can just as easily reduce CO2 and reduce the cost of electricity. Because once the wind's blowing, you don't need any more wind to feed in. It's not like putting more coal into a furnace, which is a cost. Once your wind generator's stuck up there, then just about how much electricity you need, or you use, you don't use any more wind. The wind is free. It's the greatest con on earth. Bye. Not the government so much. They're sort of behind these people. They don't give a damn. The greenies on the left care about people. They're joking. I don't give a shit. Bye.